explanation of the nature of the atom, a column of charge. Ayan, 6.25 times 10 exponent minus 29. Ano ba? 11 ba? Electrons. One column. Or one column is 1 over 6.20 exponent 10 per electron. So that's the definition. Joules, Newton meter. So if we get the values of joules in the column will result to the voltage. The definition is consistent with the definition of the voltage, current, and resistance. All right. Now, here is the analysis of the wave, the direct current wave, alternating current. Here is the response of the diode circuit, half rectified, fully rectified, and in this case, a triangular waveform. Here is a sawtooth waveform. These are affected by the kind of device where the pulsating current is present. So, kung capacitor, the capacitor can shape the wave in a certain way, certain manner. Okay? Now, one of the important thing when we talk about the conductor, okay, is the resistivity, rho. That is the characteristic resistance of the material. So the total resistance of the material is proportional to its resistivity and to the length, but inversely proportional to the area. The bigger the area, the higher the current, so the lower the resistance. So ito na ang symbol ng resistor. Yeah. Is the analysis of. Now we have the color code. Madali lang naman ito. Now the circuit, okay. These are the example of the circuit. Parallel circuit, or capacitors and their circuits. Yan. The characteristic of the capacitor, and the capacitance is defined by, that's the number of charge that is being stored per unit, per amount of volts. So that's the volts, the column per volt. That's the case of capacitance. So I hope you just browse. Ang dami. Hindi na. Inductance. This is the property of inductance. Just go on with the. Okay. So, kaya maran dito mga okay, in a circuit, especially when we discuss signals, signals will always be in not a direct current, except when it is in a logic signal wherein it is a pulse. But when we'll be talking about analog signal, that will always be defined by a alternating, a repetitive cycle of wave. So here they are explained. Yan. The definition of the inductive reactance. Okay. Here, I found another book. Libre naman yata ito. Download na lang ninyo. Yan. Basa na lang. Ang dami. Alam nyo, katong mga panahon, wala kami kaya ni. Tapos nagkukopya kami ngayon. Nandito na ito. Siguro kung nung panahon namin, meron kami nito. Ayun. Kaya advantage sa kayong marayo. Oh, kita mo. Kaya itong panahon, mara, day ko nahiling ng libro na yun. Kami pambakal kasintabong libro. Uning mo niya, no? Libre. Oh. So there is no reason that you na hindi ano. Yeah. So the book is very informative. Yeah, the instrument. Okay. By the way, if you are actually interested in this topic, you better buy electronic tools like this one, the the digital meter. This can measure the voltage, the resistance, and even the current, a small amount of current. And in here, with this digital, at least you'll be able to have to check whether there is a continuity, whether the circuit is open or damaged. Malaking bagay din ang may sariling so they put this is now the about the resistor. Here there is a color code, there is a current corresponding code, and this is a carbon resistor, and this one is a sliding. This is a variable resistance. You slide this around, the resistance between this will vary, but the resistance between this is not will be constant. So you have a variable resistor. A pencil, if you are going to trace, can conduct electricity. That's why kung gumagamit ka ng nagtitrace ka ng diagram na may akala mo sa loob ng sirkito sa breadboard ay merong CMOS, a static sensitive device, never use pencil because pencil, this is carbon, okay? This carbon can conduct electricity and this can cause short circuit in the printed circuit board. Kala mo yan, pencil sana, pero pag naka-touch yan sa dalawang potential, positive, negative, that can cause conduction and that can damage the circuit. That can damage your part. Right? Ito, thermistor. A thermistor is a device that changes its resistance with respect to the temperature. Kapag tumaas ang temperature, here it's a sensitive device that changes with change. So, pag nagbago ang temperature, pabago ang resistance niya. So, the thermistors are devices that are being used to monitor the change in temperature. Sa mga control system, ito ang mga tumatanggap, kunwari hangin, Para pag yung hangin uminit, iinit, magbabago yung uh, conduction parameter. Ayan. Oh, kadakol. So, ang ganda ng libro nito. Hanapin na lang nyo. Okay? Try to find this book. Pwede naman yata. Wala namang copyright. Libre lang yung binigay. A potentiometer is a kind of resistor that can be varied. Yan o. This potentiometer circuit. In the electronic circuits, this is a device that makes the response of the circuit variable. Often that's due to the potentiometer, where the variation is almost infinite. Unlike in the analog circuit, in the digital circuit, where discrete the variation is discrete. In the analog, you can it's infinite ang variation. All right. So what's the next chapter? Resistor. You have the Ohm's law. Okay, so there are only 18 of us today. Pero konti lang absent 20 lang ta. 22. By the way, are you always busy all the time? You're busy in some other subjects? Because pwede naman kita siguro maging asynchronous. Gusto ba ninyo? From time to time, we'll be meeting in different time. Not only from 1 to 6, 1. Kasi pag straight, I don't think lahat tayo ay lahat tayo magiging matalino kapag ganito. Kasi at 15 minutes lecture, at the end of the day, at the end of the minute, 15 minutes, the 15th minute, you know guys, when I was a student like you, when I listened to a lecture for 15 minutes, yung 16 minutes, I'm already starting to question what I have heard. And I began to, wala na, hindi ko na Maybe just like you, in the first 15 minutes, okay. After 15 minutes, nagsisimula na, ano, paano yan? Naghapot na ko na, taar, ganyan, kaya. So ibang pigli-lecture, dahil ko na nadadangog. Kasi I already began my mind, nagrayo na sa isip ko. How much more kung 2 oras kita magpara-orulay, ako sa nagpartara. Ah, okay, let's hope na makabalik na kita sa normal na ano, buhay. Gabos na ka mo may bakuna. By the way, gabos na ka mo nagkagagawin bakuna. Okay, so maybe I'm not going to stay longer. I know. Baga. So next meeting, ano bang i-discuss natin next meeting? Tapusin ko na yung syllabus. Binabago ko palagi. Hindi ko nagugustuhan. Pag binasa ko, abo ko na naman. Ginimo ko ngunyan sa aga. Hilingon ko garong abo ko. Anyway. So, okay. So, any question? Is there anything you want me to know before we conclude our lecture?
Okay naman po ata, sir.
Just in case you have uh, anything you want to clarify, maybe you can bring it out in the group chat. Wala akong ibang means na doon lang kita mag-communicate. Pwede na yun. Para hanap kita kung ano-anong kwan. Pwede lumanas ng gabos. So I let to say for now, thank you for coming, for joining. Although there are only 18 of us who are left. Disotso lang kita. Ano kaya si Wahain daw? So thank you all. Thank you for coming over. Let's say the final Thanksgiving prayer. In the name of the Father.